Did you know that a duck's quack doesn't echo? Hey YouTube, how are you today? Me, I'm pretty awesome actually. I've had a pretty good week and I'm ready to have a pretty awesome video with you guys, so let's do that. First thing I want to do is talk a little bit about cell phones and their epitome of evil. Then we gotta get into Hero of the Week because I actually think that Hero of the Week might be longer than the topic this week because of the topic last week, which was really, well, I mean, it was about religion. And anytime you talk about religion, it's sort of like the equivalent of ripping off and piercing of someone who has like thousands of them. Ah, why would you do that? Though I must say that I was happy to have sparked some conversation. Random lizard face. But anyway, cell phones. I have a bit of a beef with cell phones. And it's not so much because of the fact that they harm the environment and stuff. I mean, yeah, it is partly because of that, but we'll get into that in a second. It may surprise all of you to know that I have never owned a cell phone in the entirety of my life, and I am in fact 18 years old. I've used cell phones, I have many friends who have cell phones. In fact, I think I am the only one of my friends, other than my brother, who does not have a cell phone. And believe it or not, I've been able to function and survive pretty easily without one. I don't know how many of you are in high school or were in high school when texting first became a thing. Well, I went through my entire high school career with people texting each other like mad. Gotta say, it kind of drove me crazy. I could be having a full-on conversation with someone, their cell phone vibrates, and all of a sudden I don't exist anymore. They disappear into their own world for like 30 seconds while they text the person back and laugh at the little message they got, while I'm still talking, not realizing they stopped paying attention to me. I then have to repeat the last 30 seconds of what I said, and if I'm ever talking like the way I talk to you guys sometimes I just don't remember what I said exactly. So I get a little peeved. The thing that actually annoys me the most about cell phones is the fact that some people claim they would not be able to survive without theirs. Oh, you sad human being. I have survived my entire life without a cell phone, and yet you tell me you would die without yours. You'd be fine. Only once in my life did I ever attempt to purchase a cell phone, and I got caught up in the whole thing that everybody had one and everybody was using one and it was really easy to communicate with people. Which I will say, that is probably the only upside of cell phones, is that you can communicate much easier with people. I mean, I could never get in contact with people unless I somehow managed to send them a message on their phone with someone else's phone, which I also found kind of stupid. And so I was about to purchase a cell phone, and then because I live in the middle of nowhere, because I'm in northern Ontario-ish, they couldn't find our address. So we said screw that. And by we I mean myself and my parents, because I was like 15 or 16 at the time. Now, other than the annoying parts of cell phones is of course the environmental and mental consequences. I'm sure you guys have heard about the bees, how cell phone waves can actually mess with the bees' brain waves and confuse it, and they can start dying just because they're not communicating or acting properly. And I'm pretty sure you guys have heard that cell phones can probably cause brain cancer because of the radiation waves that are going directly to your ear through other cell phones. It's funny, whenever I tell that brainwave thing to people, they always say, oh, it's okay, I just use my cell phone for texting anyway, I only use it for calling like every once in a blue moon. It's called cell phone for a reason. It is not a laptop, it is a phone. And the last thing about cell phones is the whole Blackberry pin number scan my barcode thing. At first I was kind of like, hey, that's pretty cool. They come up with a new way to identify, you know, each other through, rather than just numbers and stuff, and they can make it a lot easier by scanning each other's screen. Sarcasm, 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 sarcasm. And then on some products that I see in stores and stuff, I see a barcode that is shaped extremely similarly to the Blackberry barcode. And as crazy as it may sound to you, a thought ran through my head. A tiny little thought just kind of skittered through my brain. What's going on here? People are getting barcodes and that's not worrying them, even though in a movie 10 years ago they would have used people getting barcodes as a way of being like a horror sci-fi movie. What's going on here? Random back of head face. For the record, I don't see why you guys wanted to see this face. I mean, technically, it's not a face. But yeah, this whole barcode thing kinda creeping me out. And now I say that and most of you will go, ooh, yeah, that's scary, that's bad. And then you'll forget about it in 2 seconds because someone texted you. Anyway, I'm done with that rant and rave for the day. Let me know in the comment section below what you think, or give me a video response to your thoughts on cell phones and barcodes on Blackberries. And we shall continue the discussion in Hero of the Week next week. But right now, we've got a Hero of the Week this week, so let's get on to that so we can do the Hero of the Week for this week on this very week that... What? Hero of the week. So first of all, there was a ton of amazing points brought up and amazing discussions had in the comments of that video, but there were so many that were amazing and interesting to me that I wanted to answer, except I didn't want to fill up the entire rant video with Hero of the Week discussions. So I only picked a few, and I'm gonna give a couple quick responses to a few of them, and then for one, I'm gonna do a more detailed response. So to Mr. Con Mahaf and Blackheart60, first of all, you guys gave my video a lot of comments, so thank you. Secondly, I want you both to look up a verse Romans 3:5-6. Second thing I want you guys to do is to look up a guy named Norman L. Geisler and a piece that he wrote called Does the Bible Support a Just War? It'll help answer your question there, Mr. Conmahalf. And then to everyone else who had like some super good comments or questions about God and morals about God and stuff, I want you to look up Romans 9:20b. And I know you guys are thinking, why are you making me look it up? Why are you making me read the Bible? Because I had to research Christianity and other religions to decide what I wanted to believe, and I think that if you guys are going to decide what you want to believe, you need to know what you're believing and not believing. So, go ahead and look these things up if you'd like answers. And for those of you who don't own a Bible, there is a website called BibleGateway.com where you can look up any Bible verse. Just go there. I'll put a link in the bar, wherever it is, beside me, below me, around me, or above me. Okay, good. So finally, our ultimate hero of the week this week is Paradigm71. Why? Because if you guys remember, the basic idea of my video last week was to say that Christianity is not a religion because there is nothing you can do to earn your salvation. And Paradigm71 brought up the Bible verse, James 2:14-17, I believe. And what that verse basically says is that you cannot have faith without works. First of all, thank you so much for bringing that up because I was hoping someone would bring it up. Second of all, it kind of is sort of not really what I was talking about. I mean, it is, but at the same time it isn't. Because I said there's nothing you can do to earn your salvation. In other words, there's nothing you can do that will impress God enough to say, okay, you can come into heaven. Faith is just believing that there's a God, and believing that He created everything and so on and so forth. What this verse is basically saying is that if you do have faith in a God, then you're probably going to be doing some things to prove that you have faith. I mean, think about it. You believe that there's this God who loves everyone and created everyone. Aren't you going to change the way you live your life accordingly? Aren't you going to start sort of maybe living your life for others rather than yourself? What that verse is basically saying is that if you claim to have faith but don't change your lifestyle accordingly, then you probably don't actually have faith. Also, Mr. Paradigm71, you should continue on reading those verses up until the end of verse 22, and you'll see that he sort of changes the way things are said. Just saying. I love having discussions like this. I don't know why, but I do. So anyway, thank you Mr. Paradigm71, Con1/2, Blackheart60, and anyone else who had moral questions. You guys are all awesome and you are all the heroes of the week this week. And now for today's shout out. Today's shout out goes out to a YouTube user named MickeyHawk13. MickeyHawk13 was the 10th person to comment on my last video. Congratulations MickeyHawk13. Shout out to you. But remember, if you'd like a shout out on one of my videos, just be the 10th person to comment on this video and I'll be sure to give you a shout out in the next video. And if you really like to comment but don't have anything to say about anything else I've already talked about in this video, here is a weekly Would You Rather. Would you rather be 2 feet tall or 15 feet tall? Someone gave that suggestion for that Would You Rather and I can't remember who it was because I didn't write it down and I forgot to look it up again, so thank you for whoever you are for that suggestion. If you would like to suggest either a Would You Rather or a random face, just suggest it in the comments down below. Or in a video response. Those are always lovely. Anyway, that's pretty much everything I got to say for today and the rest this week. If you'd like to see any of my other videos, there's a button up here that you can click on and scroll through my videos and pick a topic that interests you. But for now, I'm Isaac Oley, and I am thanking you once again for joining me on Rant. Peace in!
Comment and subscribe, comment and subscribe, comment and subscribe, and maybe favorite too.